crafty friends, welcome to my new video. So this is a swap, outgoing swap that I've done with Bethany over at Your Crafty BFF. We are both on the Roses Studio design team, so we decided to do a little bit of a Roses Studio swap. So I've used the Crafty collection You Make My Day. So this is what I've made for her. So first of all, I've made her this little ATC card. I know she's been collecting them. So there's all my information on the back as well. I've then made her this paper clip and I've added a little dangle on. I've then made this, and then this is one of the Scrap Diva Designs dies from the August collection. I've then put together this embellishment box. So in here we have some crocheted bows and there's some little gold stars in there. Then in this one we've got a lot of buttons. Then in this one we've got some crafty theme charms and some bows in there. There's some cotton reels, some little bits and pieces, so there's pegs, paper clips, tassels. Then we've got some bottle caps, and then finishing it off there's some wire wrapped beads in that one. I've then made her this, and it's got a little dangle on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the embellishments that I've made to it. I've then made my little 3x3 note cards, and I've also made a box for them to go in. So these are the note cards I've made. So that's the first one. That's the second one. That's the third one, and then last but not least, that's the fourth one. I've then made her one of these foam tape holders, and this is a Kay's Craft die, and I've added a foam strip roll in there as well. I've just recently bought this die and I really love it. It's one of my favourite dies. I've then put together this decorated hoop for her, and then in there I've added these three little wallets, and then there's some word dies, word pieces there. Digging deep into the box. I've then made her this little post-it holder, and then I've added a little pencil on the side. I won't get it out of the bag. I've then, sorry, I just shut the camera. I've then made some of my little bag toppers. And I'll go on some of the packaging that I'm going to package these items up in. And they're really simple to make. I followed a video over on Love Letter Generation to make those. And you know what, I'm hooked. They're super simple to make. I'll see if I can find the video and I'll tag it below. So then I've made these little bows, and then they've got little tags on, little tassels. There's another one here. thought they were really cute. Then made one of these, and then I've made one. I've decorated one and then made one for her to decorate. I've then made her one of these easels. And then I've added some little Nouveau drops on there to give it a little bit of 3-dimension. I've also made some of these really chunky layered rosettes. Look how many layers they have. There we go, so that's the first one. And then that's the second one. I've just made these rosettes just by cutting a strip of paper, and then I've got a punch that I've used to punch out this detail. I got it from one of those crafty stashes that I attend. I've then made some of these little envelopes. Again, these are one of my go-to dies to use in swaps. Unfortunately, I don't think I've had some questions about this die. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they've do it anymore. I think that it's been discontinued, unfortunately. I then made her this shaker. I've then decorated one of these, and I think these are possibly a Chaos Craft die. And then what I've done is I've also done some decorated ones that she can decorate herself. And then I've also cut out some of these for her to use, and I've also embossed them with some clear embossing powder. I think these are a Scrap Diva Designs stamp set. And then using those, I've also made these. Again, this is a Scrap Diva Design die. And these are some of the little flowers from another Scrap Diva Designs die. And then what I've done is there is a couple here that I haven't decorated, so she can decorate those herself. Oh, sorry, there's another one. I've just found another one of these. I've then cut out a number of these crafty tools. So we've got those, and we've got that one. What else have we got in here? I've got this one. I've got those in a couple of different colours. I think I've done the green and the pink in. And then we've got some scissors. Got another one of those. Oh, and don't forget these. I've done 3 of those. Oh, and there's another one. I've then made some of these. So they are just using a couple of heart punches. And then I've stitched down the middle and put a little eyelet on with a little sentiment on, and I've made a number of those. I'm trying to dig deep in my box of goodies. I've made a couple of these. And I'm also gifting her this die as well. I've then decorated these little ruffles and added some little dangle charms on. So this one's got a little handmade with love and a sewing machine, and then this has got little flowers. And then I've added one in for her to decorate herself. Then made her this keychain, and I've put a little dangle on it. I've got a bee on there, and I've put some beads on a safety pin. I do love this. This looks super cute. So happy with how that's turned out. I just love all the aspects of this collection. It's really cute. Then got this. It's just in her name, acrylic name, and a keychain. So I'm going to put a little dangle on there. I've made her this memory decks card. Again, this is a Scrap Diva Designs die, and then I've added a little dangle to it, and then I've added some of the other little dies from this die set, and then I've stuck a couple of little pins in there. I've glued these in so they can't stab anyone. I've then made tassels, so there's one, and little scissors on the end. Then I've made a couple of these ones. So this one says handmade with love. I've then made these, and this is following following a tutorial I found online, and it's using a cotton reel. So I've made a couple of those. I've then made this embellishment. I got this die and these plastic cases from AliExpress. So I've added it with lots of sequins and different buttons, as it's a button jar. And then I've just added a little embellishment on the front. I've also put a sequin mix in one of these. This is a lip balm holder. I think it looks well cute like that. And again, I've decorated it with some of the floral bits from the paper collection, and I've added some of those drops on there again. Make it look like water droplets. I've then made this, and this is another Scrap Diva Designs die. And then inside here, we have lots of flowers. I won't get them out because they're in there. So it's jam-packed with lots of little handmade flowers, and then I've decorated the front. I do like making these cotton reels, and it obviously fits in well with this paper collection. I've then made this wand, and then I've added a little dangle on it and a little bell. Again, it's nice and layered. I've added lots of different aspects of this. So we've got those pins again, some buttons, there's a little wooden button there, some ribbon, and then I put lots of trim on it. We've got some rosettes. So I'm really happy with how these have turned out. And then I've made her a pokey tool. Again, I've tried to use beads that matches this collection. And then I've added a little dangle. So on here we've got some scissors. We've got her name. And then I've made a little charm using some of the paper from the collection. Again, we've got one of those safety pins, and then lots of other little charms. So there's a handmade with love charm, tassels, scissors, bows, all sorts, and there's even some little buttons on there as well. So that's the pokey tool. And then the last item I've made is this paintbrush. I do love making these. Just looks beautiful. And some of the store-bought items I've got, Bethany. We've got this button die. I've used those throughout the projects that I've made. We've got that frame die. So I got this die. So this matches the easel die, and I know Bethany's got the easel die. So this is the add-on for all the other little bits. And then I've also bought this one with lots of different crafty tools. I'm gifting her this phone wristlet. And then I've added a little bee on there, and there's a little bow, and then I've added one of the clips that you put in the side of your phone. I've got this pack of buttons, and these are from Home Bargains that I've bought. And they go great with this paper collection. Then bought her the whole bag of the wooden bobbins. I picked these up from Home Bargain, not from Home Bargain, sorry, these are from the Works. And I thought these stickers go well with this collection. And then these ones were also from the Works. This was from springtime, but I thought the colours matched really well. And then I found this plate dish, and there is actually one of the papers, I can't see it very well on here, this kind of paper, and it literally is the same as this pattern. So I thought that would be perfect. And then I'm also gifting her some other little bits and pieces, and I'm also sending her the You Make My Day collection from Rosie Studio. So, oh, and there's also, sorry I missed these, there's also a little lip balm, and again I've added a little charm on it with a bee. And then I'm gifting her one of these, and it's one of those little pick-up gem tools, and I really like using these when I'm doing those little tiny paper cuts or moving some gems around, so that's really handy that I use. So that's everything that I've made and that I'm sending over to Bethany. Stay tuned for more crafty videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely crafty day. Bye for now.